Welcome, friend. Glad to have you back here to Are You Safe Too? We have the second, number two, one, two, two, second part of the Chicago Skyline build, and we're going to complete it today. So, without further ado, want to say thank you for finding me if you're new, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. So, what we'll be doing today is completing the Wrigley Building, the John Hancock Building, and Marina City. Joining us today is our regular assistant, my trusty plastic assistant, Minifig Mike. We also are joined, because Chicago is legendary, we have some Chicago legends with us today. So we have Minifig Da Coach, Minifig Stan, Minifig Ryne, and Minifig Jumpman. So we have football, hockey, baseball, and basketball all represented here today. And it would not be a show without our musical guest. So please welcome Minifig Jake and Elwood, the Minifig Blues Brothers. So they'll be joining us today as we get into today's build. I hope you're having a great day. My name's Todd, and I am a hobbyist when it comes to building Lego sets. And since 1975, 76? So my gosh, almost maybe 50 years I've been building and creating and coming up with my own creations and taking things apart and reassembling. We've already done the architectural Sears Tower, and last time we started the skyline. So we have the Big Red and of course the other Sears Tower, and we also touched a little bit on this silver piece, which locally is called the Bean, but it really is, the real name is the Cloud Gate. So what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to build something. We're going to compliment someone. We're going to share our safety tip of the day later. And if there's time, maybe some groovy music. So not only do we have the Millennium Park or Grant Park, we have Cloud Gate. We're also going to construct the DuSable Bridge, which is part of Michigan Avenue. The Wrigley Building goes here. The John Hancock Building goes here. And this empty space right here is something I created. Not part of the original Skyline series, but that's where the Marina Towers are gonna go. So let's hope that comes together nicely. You'll also see a couple of empty spaces here, and I'm going to save those for a special surprise towards the end. So without ado, let's get into the build today. Excellent. I did pre-assemble the clock tower at the very top because, you know, in this kind of thing, sometimes it gets lost as pieces fall all over the place. All right, where should we begin? Let's do the bridge. So let's see. Set those aside. And we got our bridge pieces here. While I'm doing this, I would like to compliment someone. There is a content creator out there that I would encourage you to check out. And his name is Bill. His channel is Bill Making Stuff. And in the world of miniatures, Bill has made quite a name for himself in his designs, innovative, creative designs, his artwork. His content is also humorous and timely, inspiring. There are many folks out there who make miniatures, but Bill has set himself in a new level, a whole new plateau that I like watching. I like listening to, because I always learn something new that I might be able to use in my own daily life. I'm not a miniaturist. I'm not a gamer or role player. However, what Bill creates and the way he produces and shares it really is. It's innovative. It's neat. It's something to check out. So, if you have some time, Bill making stuff, and I will include a link in the description below. So, we have the beginnings of the DuSable Bridge. Let's start by going through that. Oh my gosh, where's my notes? All right, so the DuSable Bridge was, as it's imagined in this set, it's one of 29 movable bridges crossing the Chicago River. And the Chicago River is a predominant geographical landmark in the city. So to cross it, you need bridges. However, there is also river traffic. So those bridges needed to be movable, as in raise and lower, to allow boats to go through. The DuSable Bridge was designed in the what's called the Beaux art style, completed in 1920, and it resembles the Alexander III Bridge over the Seine River in France. 1, 2, 3. One more. Where'd you go? There you are. So using engineered gears, counterweights, these 4 towers help control the bridge. The bridge is also featured in a number of TV shows and movies, and you can find its distinctiveness right on Michigan Avenue, the Magnificent Mile. It's a double-decked bridge, which means vehicle and foot traffic can cross it on the top level or street level or the lower level. And this is going to go on this side, clipping in there, and this side, clipping in there. So, if we were to showcase this to you, we have the Chicago River, which LEGO has put green base plates in because that's one of the unique features in Chicago. So there's our bridge. The cloud gate that's right here was designed by a British artist, and I'm going to try to pronounce the name Anish Kapoor, and it's an it's a very curved, rounded structure, elliptical. It weighs 110 tons, so it's just a little bigger than me. It's nicknamed the Bean, and it's forged from a solid, seamless, maybe solid, it's not solid, no, but it's a seamless series of highly polished aluminum stainless steel plates, and it reflects the skyline. And that famous skyline, the structures around it, and the clouds above, hence the name Cloudgate. But it also looks like a bean. It kind of looks like liquid mercury, if you've ever dabbled in that in science class. The sculpture's among one of the largest of its kind in the world. It's 66 feet long and 33 feet high. Pretty neat, and quite the photographic landmark. And people like getting their pictures taken in it, around it, under it. Yes, you can walk under it because it has that beam curvature. They clean it and they wash it twice a year, and they use 40 gallons. That's 150 liters of liquid detergent. Lots to clean, eh? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You betcha. Oh, no, that's my Minnesota accent coming in there. And because I spent many years in Minnesota, I can get away with that. So I'm not going to offend my colleagues or peers from the land of 10,000 lakes. Yeah, you betcha. Okay, so Chicago, pizza, hot dogs, sports, politics, skyline, art. It has it all. Third largest city in America. I'm very proud to say that I'm from there. Yes, I am. The Wrigley Building, our next architecture structure that we are assembling, also located on Michigan Avenue. The white stone structure stands out amongst a sea of black and gray in the city. It has a triangular feature shape to it. Not too, unlike the Flatiron Building in New York City. The Wrigley Building, of course, founded by the Wrigley family of the gum fame, Wrigley gum and candy, as well as the Wrigley Field on the north side, home of the Chicago Cubs. Let's see, we're going to do another one of these. I think I'm going to put this one piece on this side and this piece here. All right. Oh, do we need two of those? We do need two of those. There we go. There's two walkways that go across the towers that stand above the building. And there's one on the 13th floor. And there's one on the third floor and the 14th floor. Yes, I'm correct in that. It's been around for over 100 years. And it has this, again, gleaming white architecture and kind of a French Renaissance or Spanish style. Spanish, like a revival type of style. And it has an American twist to it. The stone is clad with 250,000 terracotta tiles. And there's more than 500 designs to those tiles. So some people had to cut, measure. Is it measure once, cut twice? 250,000 tiles in 500 different ways. And if you look closely, there's various colors. You got the bluish white at the bottom, and it gradients up to a chalk white at the top. And from a distance, it kind of looks like a sunrise appearance. And as the city of Chicago faces east, as it looks out over Lake Michigan, that sun coming up does cast quite a visual appeal to the city. All right, I think we're getting closer to there. You know what? I missed a step. I missed a step. I missed a step. There we go. The Wrigley Building was first in the city to be air conditioned. So imagine that, you know, hot summers, working indoors, in an office building, air conditioning. Something we might take for granted today, but back at the time, you know, you'd open windows and have maybe some fans circulating the air. Not easy when the outside air might be cold in the winter time. And yes, Chicago does experience the cold. There we go there. And there we go there. Wrigley Building. Ta-da! Why do I have an extra white piece of white? Well, let's fit this in our city. There we go. And this curved piece I'm going to put at the back on this turntable. Now, if you are from Chicago or have been to Chicago or been to the Wrigley Building, I believe that it is now residential. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, there's an open space right there. Do you see that? Let's fill that in with a restaurant. Because if you head to Michigan Avenue, over the river, and then you go down some stairs, there is a restaurant called the Billy Goat Tavern. And I would like to commemorate that with a round tile. The trick is finding the right color brown. Oh, I know what I'm going to use. I'm going to use a printed piece that looks almost like the top of a burger. The Billy Goat Tavern, for those of you who are historians of Saturday Night Live, was parodied with the phrase cheeseburger, 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 double cheese, no fries, cheeps. Let's see, that's a clock piece. I'm looking for the one that has the burger. Where would that be? Oh, there's the top of a beer can. That's a unique piece. I'll have to use that somewhere, sometime. Well, not technically a burger. However, there we go. we'll put a black graded piece because it's under the city main thoroughfare. So there are grates in the sidewalks. Oh, there it is. Found it. Always the last one you find. So that kind of looks like the top of a burger with the bun. Now, let's not spill, shall we? My organization system, as many of the collectors or builders will look at this going, wow, he's using bags and cups, and well, I just keep things out of the way, and instead of storage bins or a separate room, I use my workstation. And I bring out my trusty artist mat. There's another one. I got two. Or is it the same one? All right. Set that aside. Set this aside. We're going to scrape these. And they fall on the floor. But thank you to our toes, we can get those swept up later. The Billy Goat Tavern. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. Loads of fries, cheeps. And now we're going to commemorate that right here in the space with the Billy Goat Tavern now included in my unique build of Chicago. So, 3 buildings down, 1 bridge, 1 art sculpture, and 1 amazing park. What's next? John Hancock. At one point, the 2nd tallest building in Chicago, in the world, has a very angled structure to it. And it was actually completed before the Sears Tower in 1970. The Willis Tower came along, was constructed 4 years later. We're going to start with the central building core here. So we're going to need one of these. And 3 of those. Need a couple of these. We'll set that over there. We'll set that over there. There we go. And great. So the John Hancock Building has a distinctive, unique look to it. It's 100 stories tall. So if an average story or floor is 10 feet, that's what? 1,000 feet, right? So you could literally be 1,000 feet in the air. The sky deck is up on the 94th floor. All total, it reaches 1,127 feet. It's named after an insurance company, an original tenant, John Hancock. It's also called Big John for those Chicago historians. Let's see, we're going to put one of those up top there, and this one. Then another single piece. There we are. cap it off with that and with that. Central structure. Tiles. One, two, three, there it is, 4. There we go. If you were to walk all the steps up to the sky deck, how many steps would you guess? In a building that is 100 stories, 100 floors, that's 1,100 feet tall. How many steps would you guess? You don't have to leave a comment because I'm going to share that with you. There are 1,600 steps from the main lobby all the way to the observation deck on the 94th floor. Many cities will have competitions or races or charity functions where people can register and then climb the steps. Many famous cities have that in their buildings. Are there buildings in your city that will sponsor a climb to the top of the building? I do know firefighters who will do this for various charitable organizations in full turnout gear. And starting at the base, climbing their way up, will work to meet that challenge. And if you have ever seen a firefighter wearing their turnout gear, it is heavy. Necessary in fighting a fire. When climbing a building, that is just an extra level of courage, dedication, commitment. All right, now that we've got most of the pieces sorted out for this project, that. A lot of the graded tiles. These tiles have grooves, and there are a lot of those in this build because, again, distinctive architectural look and style. All right, we want to put a 6er at the top on each side. Extra stability. And then in our skyline, we're going to place that right here. So holding up that so you can get a feel for the width and the height of this particular set. That's the neat thing about the architecture series, is it allows someone to build an iconic skyline in the comfort of their own home to scale and incorporate landmarks. This is going to be at the top, and we're going to work our way down. If you look at the Chicago skyline at night, there's a band of lights across the very top of Big John, the John Hancock Building. And very similar to what I mentioned with the Big Red in the previous episode, these lights are able to be programmed for color changes. So you can see many of the tall skyscrapers from around the city and the nearby suburbs. So at the top, if it's not white, maybe you see it as red and green around the holiday time of year, or red and white for Valentine's Day, or all green for St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day in Chicago. Wow. If you have a bucket list of places to go and things to do, and Chicago on St. Patrick's Day is not on it, I strongly encourage you to think twice, because as many cultures that Chicago has and that Chicago embraces, from Greek culture and various European cultures, Asian cultures, African cultures. Oh my gosh. There's something, again, iconic, unique, special, different in Chicago's celebration of St. Patrick's Day. Boston has marathon, tea party festivals. Other cities will celebrate in other unique ways. Where's that piece? There it is. So if you ask anybody from Chicago what it's like on or around St. Patrick's Day, good stories, good people. All right, and that goes down there. Clipping in another one of these. Does that match? I able to find? Well, folks, I'm going to put some music on while we find out where that clip piece went to. We're going to listen to something from an artist called Chris Collins. I will leave a link to his channel in the description. Love it when a plan comes together. So the Chicago Skyline from the LEGO set has various buildings, features, architecture, geographic locations. Something I'd like to add is the Marina towers. And this is something I'm doing on myself, my onesie, my brain. did it, I did it, I did it, I did it, I did it. Yes! That is the Chicago Skyline. And I'll need to reinforce Marina City a little bit better. Plus I want to incorporate a tile to hide that gap, but I'm not worried. I am so thrilled in the way this turned out. Oh my gosh. Yes. So we have the several icons architecture wise, and whew, I was really nervous going into this because I'd visualized it, but I had not practiced or built the base for the Marina towers. Nick Walinda, the wire walker, walked from the Marina towers on a high wire across the Chicago River a while back. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that this was fun to listen to. Maybe you were able to relax or brush your teeth or make breakfast or, something during your downtime that you could put on in the background. This was a lot of fun to build. Being a native of the Windy City, having been to Chicago many times in not only my formative years, but later going back to visit, and even the enjoyment of showing my son what the city has to offer a little bit in terms of visiting and things like that. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this episode as well as the channel. If you like what you see, please click the like and subscribe. Hey, there's a gap right there at the bottom. Remember I said I was going to mention a surprise? Well, gosh golly, let's fill that gap in. And what better way to fill in that gap than with... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Here it is. Okay, so it's not part of the official Lego set, but it's something creative that I came up with. I'm going to place this little brown tile with a flame piece right here in the front. It's supposed to go in. It sounded so much cooler in my head. Okay, brown piece with a flame in the front of Chicago to symbolize the great Chicago fire, and the brown piece is Mrs. O'Leary's cow. Oh, there we go. Fun. So I will hold this up to the camera and you can see for yourself the Chicago Skyline Lego set with a few added Easter eggs, I guess you'd call it. So thank you very much for joining me today. I do appreciate the chance to have the views and to practice as I grow this channel. We have Minifig Jumpman. Thank you for joining us today. We have Minifig Ryne, who joined us today. And we have Minifig Stan with the Stanley Cup. And Da Coach, thank you. All right. And last but not least, my trusty assistant, the humorous, the talented, the always delightful Minifig Mike. And our musical guests. Not Chris Collins, he was the background music, but our Minifig musical guests are Jake and Elwood, the Minifig Blues Brothers. So, what a treat today. I'm going to save the Death Star for another time. My next little project will be a little brickheads piece, but then, I have been working on this since January. It is going to be a 1:800 scale Sears tower. I will build it in sections and parts. The episodes will be in parts and pieces. It'll be all ASMR. None of my bibble babble. The learning up to this point of the channel has kind of led to this. This is what I was really leading up to. I'd like to get 50 subscribers. If you know anybody who wants to just have a good laugh or roll their eyes or watch somebody attempt a new project, have them tune in. With that, our safety tip of the day is to use your training, watch out for each other, mind the heat index, because it is still summertime. And I definitely would like you to come back safe from wherever your travels are. So you may see this guy in the thumbnails, our ever confident safety manager. Take care, my friends. Thank you. My name's Todd. It's a pleasure speaking with you today, sharing this with you today, and seeing what your comments are. Take care. Have a good week. Remember, we're all in this together, saving the world, one accident at a time.